Yeah, life would be so much simpler if I was a Shelley. Oh well, never mind. 'Tis the season to be miserable. Oh, that should be the adverts over with anyway. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Arr. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, lovely Samuel. How are you? Wow. My frame rate hates me. That might just mean me moving slowly. Howdy, Ricky. How you doing? Finally early. As I say, have you run out of drink? Oh dear. Starting to smooth out. Eh, these things sometimes just take a while to warm up. Probably HMS crap top doing something in the background that I didn't tell it to do. They do these things, computers. Yeah. So here from the beginning, normally, well, it's an hour in at least I've got warmed up and started. So at the start of the stream, I've not really got much to riff on, so we kind of play it by ear. Because it's been my usual kind of week: work, water changes, naps, shopping, making sure to remember to take a Walkman and headphones with me whenever I go shopping, so I don't have to listen to the god awful Christmas music in the shops. Also, a week of swearing at colleagues who keep changing the radio station from what we normally listen to, which has the odd Christmas song on there. And for some reason, someone has decided to keep changing it to a station that only plays Christmas songs. Now, I don't know about any of you, but I don't want to do 6 or 8 hours subjected to Christmas songs the whole time. Working, so not drinking, placing orders of equipment with new facility, no drinking while bathing, that's how you order 20 mixer grinders when you only needed 2. Yeah, yes. And then you always get the person going, why have you got your headphones on? They're playing Christmas tunes. You know, yes, that's why I've got my headphones on, so I don't have to listen to them. Hello, Brian, you gorgeous man, you. How are you? Love you too. Unfortunately, I'm already taken, and I think Mary would probably be quite upset if I left her for a man. Your hubby probably wouldn't be too happy either. Step-by-step guide to the heart emoji from YouTube chat. Oh, it actually does something? Thought it was just there to be annoying. To be honest. Like most things they update, they just make things worse or more annoying. Ugh. Sort my t-shirt and my hair out. Not my hair's ever going to be sorted out. Hide the heart from, yeah. You know, thankfully, because I'm on HMS Crap Top, the screen is big enough that it doesn't actually get in the way that much. especially when the next comment comes in. So hopefully people start commenting. M and C, howdy D. How's the Prince of Plecos or Pekekos? Yeah, I'm all right. Now I've finished work for, well, not for the year, but till after Christmas anyway. I'm generally not in the best frame of mind this time of year. So working in retail, it's good if I can get the week off, because it's very hard to maintain the customer service. Hi, how are you? Oh yeah, cracking jokes with people you don't know or like, really. It's very hard for me this time of year to maintain a positive mental outlook. As those who've been around for a while probably know, Christmas isn't a good time of year for me. Historical and mental stuff, don't worry about it. But yeah, so I like to kind of shut myself away as much as possible so people don't Christmas at me. That said, I have got all the presents to wrap this week. But hey ho, I've got the week, so won't be too bad. Well, there's a couple of Mary's presents that are going to be rather tricky to wrap. And you know, when you bought someone something for a present, and you go, no matter how I wrap that, they're going to know exactly what it is straight away. Like if when you were a kid and you got a new bike for Christmas and it, for some bizarre reason, somebody decided to wrap it. It's not hiding what it is. I know it's a bike. You just got to pull all this bloody paper and tape off of it before I can see what the bike looks like. And then I can figure out whether I like it or not. But when you ask for the red and gold rally burner BMX for Christmas and you get the blue and white one, and you have to pretend to be very happy to have received it, that kind of thing. Because everyone knows red ones go faster. Couldn't work retail. I'm not a big people person. People like my tea in a bag underwater. Yeah, I'm not a people person either. I'm just like, after years of practice, I can just switch to. It's almost like a split personality. There's me. There's YouTube me, and then there's customer service me. And you just gradually get more polite as you go up the line, or more impolite as you go down the line. Generally darker as well. You know, I don't take fools. But yeah, there are people who I work with who are amazed at my levels of patience with customers who might not be the most polite, or a bit Karenish. And I can deal with them quite happily. Well, not happily, but I can put it on and yes, we're getting all the YouTube notifications coming through now. Should we see what they are? Ooh, the Archcast, the Iowa Capital Satanic Shrine. How to paint blue skin tone and freehand in oils. Is it still a pop-up if I post a link? Ooh, why are you still sending me updates for him? I unsubbed because he's a pro-Trump imbecile. Leaking canister filter. Yeah. Referring to my last video. Gifted myself a falcon for Christmas in my custody from the High Court. I'm not keeping it because I know it's illegal to privately own, and the real owner is going to go to prison. Well, that's cool. What kind of falcon? That is the next question. As retirement has its advantages, I get to choose if I want people or not. Yeah. Ooh, Sicra falcon. Not familiar with those. I shall look it up. I do like a raptor. What we got around here? We get kestrels, although they're a hawk, not a falcon. Get sparrowhawks, peregrines. They're definitely a falcon. Marsh harriers. They're a falcon. Oh, God, what else do we get? We actually get quite a few around here. Males have got red eyes, females have yellows. Good. No, now I can identify a male or a female secret falcon. If I ever remember that, that is. It's one of those kind of things where I'll completely forget it until one day someone goes, Sharpe, do you know how to sex a falcon? I go, what kind? And I go, Sicra. All right. Male's got the red eyes. And then they'll look at me like, how do you know these things? I go, because I know interesting, intelligent people. I've got a peregrine. Yeah, peregrines are cool. For Sharpe to sex a falcon, needs to take it to dinner first. Oh, yeah. Before you sex anything, feed it first. Good general life advice. Especially us men, because we all know the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Basically, feed us enough, we go into a food coma, and then you can have your wicked way. Yes. I think that's what that means anyway. I'm not the only person that eats enough to go into a food coma, right? Please. Priscilla, darling, how are you, my gorgeous? Mwah. Great big huggles to you. And exploding fist bumps to X-Man as well. I hope you are wonderfully well, lovely Priscilla. I've missed your dulcet tones. And there's a woman who knows good chocolate. Reason I like the trained in Indian falconry. It's 3,000-year-old art form, dead for 500 years. Ah. So Middle Eastern falconry is with the hood, Indian is without. So English falconry is more like Middle Eastern falconry then. That's interesting. Very busy with lawsuits. Or is that the thing from the school? I won't go into it any further than that because legal reasons. And going back to college, what we studying? Don't say law. Yeah, the hood. Back in the hood. Yeah. So I think the majority of English falconry is trained with a hood. Oh, pardon me. Oh dear. So the only trying to think times I've messed about with falcons in the past. And they haven't been hooded, but they were trained, so they knew what they were doing. But yeah, they're basically all floof. Owls, especially. You see something like an eagle owl, you're like, oh my god, that's huge. And they are. They're very big birds, and they've got very big, scary talons and beaks. You poke them in the chest, and your finger just disappears all the way in before you, and you're not even touching the bird itself. Dragging on since, mate. Yeah, these things do have a habit of dragging on, I'm afraid. Even when it's such a cut and shut kind of case like that, where you've got all the evidence, all the witnesses. Yes. What's that? Do I smell Adele? Hello, me darling. More hugs. Air hugs. Although I reckon if I randomly turned up, walked into Adele's workplace, there might be hugs. At least a little one, anyway. Either that or she'd beat me up and throw me out. And at the stage of mediation, and the defendant has to plead guilty soon. Well, if it's gone to mediation, then they basically have to plead guilty, because if you go to mediation, they've accepted fault. Yeah, well, at least that's the way it works over here, anyway. It's a case of working out how much money they're going to get fined, and then whether they keep their job or not. I mean, I would hope they've been sacked already. But yeah, that is gross misconduct if it ends up in a court case. So even if it was proven not guilty, which it's not going to be, then you should be fired for. Criminal case against the defendant is different from a civil case against the school district. Yeah. So stinking hot right now. Of course it is. It's the middle of your summer. Had a poop night's sleep. If you nod off, nod off. Don't apologise for it. He was fired the day he was arrested. Good. So I wouldn't be surprised if I nodded off during the stream. I've had a couple of them nights. Not because it's been hot, just because my brain won't shut off. Or I get to sleep fine, then I wake up like 3 hours later and I'm like, wide awake. And because it's dark till about 7:30 in the morning here now, my brain doesn't know whether it's time to get up or not. So it goes, oh, I'm awake, time to get up. And then I look at the clock and it's like 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh, God. It's like, right, do I stay up for a couple of hours and then try to go back to sleep? Or do I stay up until I've done morning that with Mary and then go back to sleep? Problem is, if I've got to work, like yesterday, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning and I had to start work at 12. So, 164 charges with 11 victims. Yeah. Generally, when the charges start getting into triple digits, you know they're going to get nailed on something. 24 with 25 all night, 34, 35 today. So, yeah, that's warm. No, not too bad for summer. But yeah, I'd struggle to sleep in that as well. Definitely be sleeping downstairs, no covers, back door and windows open. Oh, Danny boy, it nearly went to a tie break. Thank you, Boots Cats. UK sun is weird. In summer, light at 9 p.m. Winter, it's bottle. Yeah. In the summer, so height of summer in the UK, it will be light at 4:45 in the morning and not get dark until 11:45 at night. This time of year, depths of winter, it gets light at around about 7:30 in the morning and it's dark by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was good fun. I just have to make sure next year I'll make sure I'm 2 ahead of you, so then I don't have to fret trying to guess the Christmas answers, because I don't do Christmas. Oh yes, yes. If there's one thing prisoners don't like, it's people who abuse children or women. I mean, there is honour among thieves, as the old saying goes. Um, that's why they put people who commit certain crimes into prisons all on their own, with their own kind, so that they can serve out their sentence safely. No, we're paying to keep them in prison. I mean, technically, yeah, it makes sense. But, if they accidentally weren't alive anymore, then we wouldn't have to pay for their care. I heard Lucy Letby was appealing her, something like that. She's the nurse who did for several babies. And got caught. Yeah, she's apparently appealing her life sentence. So I think it was the murder of 7 children or babies. No, you don't get to appeal that one. Sharpe like, damn human rights, get rid of them. Exactly. All in a prison of a kind. We are. We're all prisoners of our own devices. Yes. I'm all for human rights, but when someone's proven they've got no humanity in them, yeah, existential. Yeah, yes. Yes, I got that. Yeah, that's a bit deep and existential for a Sunday evening. All I'm pretty much capable of thinking about at this moment is boobs. That's pretty much where my mind is. And that's not just because Mary's been around all afternoon. Um, it's just the default setting for my brain, really. So, tired, can't think about anything too exhausting. Let's just think about boobs for a bit instead. I admit it. I'll bet you all the other men in this chat spend a lot of time thinking about certain bits, bouncing. I miss them. Default setting, my brain is scrambled. Yeah, pretty much. It doesn't exactly follow straight logical patterns of thought, does it? It's sort of like one thing will make me think of something completely random and got nothing to do with the first thought. But hey, if I don't know what's going to come into my head or out of my mouth, then nobody else does either. Definitely scrambled. The amount of bangs I've had to the noggin over the years, it's definitely scrambled. Maybe a little pickled, but that's more likely my liver. Um, my lungs are safe because they've got a good lining of tar in them. That will keep them safe. Oh dear. Logic is one thing I wouldn't take from you. Everything else is so safe. Yeah. I come to logical conclusions, but not necessarily from a logical starting point. That's Like the argument I was having with someone, not really, yeah, argument, not a debate, with someone about canister filters this week. So I said, well, you obviously don't do Iwagumi Dutch style tanks because you need a canister filter on them. I'm like, why? Well, you do. Well, it's heavily planted and it's got very low bio load from the fish. It'd probably do better with an under gravel filter. No, you can't use an under gravel filter. You obviously don't know what you're talking about. Well, you've got a full carpet of plants in there. Surely they would benefit from all the muck being sucked to the bottom. Yeah, certain things you can't get stuck up on and focus on in now and future. Exactly. Smoke so many cigarettes, my lungs still came out healthy. I don't know how. The inhaler the doc gave me, yeah, that'll help. Say no to canisters. Exactly. I'm always under investigation by the fish police. I have the temerity to keep more than one bristlenose, or to keep a bristlenose in less than 20 gallons. Don't tell them about the 3 clown plecos in the 10-gallon, no, whatever you do. You know, the 3 happy, fat clown plecos. And the breeding pair of Nanacara anomala, just for Sam. Yes, we have Nanacara eggs again. This time, as I'm off work, I will try to remember and spot if they start disappearing and pop them in a breeder box in the same tank, because any other tank I put them in will kill them. Who cares about the fish police I grow? 2-inch discus, 30 of them in a 2x1 tank, and they're live and healthy. Exactly. I do kind of, or I get why there are these, maximum or minimum tank sizes. I do get that, because otherwise people will put Oscars in 10 gallons and goldfish in bowls. We've all seen it. A lot of people don't understand that fish grow, and especially if you're breeding them, you're not going to keep them all till they're all full grown in that same tank. For example, when I notice a bunch in one of the tanks getting a bit big, out they come with a net down into the big tank on the bottom. With the sponge filter and do 40% water changes 5 times a week. Exactly. Although, I mean, only doing 40% water changes and skipping 2 days, the discus police won't like that. You need to have 8 canister filters on there and at least 100% water change every day. Evening, Andrew. Good to see you, my friend. I quite like the fish police, Phil. I'm doing a service of humanity, giving them something to do with their time. There is that. While they're coming after us, they're leaving someone else alone. Yeah. Fish police, the biomedia police. But if you have some more biomedia, you have some more bacteria, ma. No, you won't. They might be spread out a bit more. At least they're not on the streets with traffic jam. And the amusing thing is, they're going into my comment section, commenting, venting their rage, and just improving my algorithm. I don't care. Someone always knows better. Yeah, and it's usually someone who hasn't actually done it. It's usually someone who doesn't think for themselves and is just repeating parrot fashion what they heard from someone else. Well, Mr. Scapegoat says you have to do this, so therefore anything else is wrong. No, Mr. Scapegoat does it that way because he's got lots of money and is sponsored by the people who make those products. And is paid to do it. Much like people trying to sell you their own product. Oh, computer's probably downloading something in the background. Heard from someone, I can't keep 5 Asian arrows in a 4-foot tank. And I was like, how many arrows have you got? And they went, none. Exactly. If you've not done it, you can't really say it's wrong. You can. We all know, goldfish in a bowl. We all know that's wrong, and there's going to be a dead goldfish, even though we've not all done it. But actually, I think probably most of us Brits have when we were kids, and those of us at a certain age anyway. After we move, I'll stick to 1 large reef, 1 large freshwater, and a couple of small ones. I think you need this t-shirt, Priscilla. Just 1 more tank, I promise. College keeps you too busy. You have to start training the X-Man. Get him to do your water changes for you for his pocket money, his allowance. So old school setups, not a big fan of all the bells and whistles. But yeah, exactly. We all know, we all know that you can run a tank on just a sponge filter, a basic light. It's not a problem. But that doesn't make the companies that sell you the bits any money. It's like the hang on back or in tank filters that have the replaceable cartridges. We all know you chuck that cartridge in the bin, you just chuck some sponge in there instead, and that will last for ages. People who don't will replace that cartridge every month, which makes the company more money. Same with things like ovens and microwaves and fridges and washing machines and drills, and yeah, we've all got older relations who've got the same drill or whatever they've been using for 40, 50 years, and it's absolutely fine. Buy a new one now, it might last you a couple of years. Still using a couple of old box filters from the early 70s. There's a box filter in there. I mean, it's not from the early 70s, it's from the late 2010s, but design hasn't changed. A bit of sponge and a bit of floss in there with some gravel in the bottom. No, it's not, it's gravel. It's just there to weight the thing down. It's not there for a bacterial colony. The bacterial colony is in the sponge. Because that's where all the muck gets caught up. They're going to go where the food is. So where there's more food, there's going to be more of them. You can keep the goldfish in a bowl, drill the bowl, put a massive sump on it, and voila, healthy goldfish in a bowl. Yeah. Long as the bowl's big enough for the goldfish to grow. It's the same with people who tell me that my pond is wrong because it hasn't got a big pond filter and a pump house, and I don't clean it out religiously every year. I don't bring my fish in because it gets cold in the winter. Unlike the goldfish, they're comets. They can take it absolutely fine. They're a wild fish that's just been bred to have different colours. I've got a diatom filter, I haven't used it in years. We're using a silent giant air pump. The pond is made right, it doesn't need a filter. Exactly. It's not necessarily about making it right, it's about having an ecosystem in there. The sludge in the bottom that takes out, because the bacteria live in the sludge and it's a low oxygen environment, so it even takes out the nitrates. Yeah. I mean, it's what, 150 gallons, and it's home to 5 comets, which doesn't sound a lot, but then it's also got frogs galore, snails galore, bugs, beetles, all the live stuff's in there. It balances itself out. And of late, it's had a lot of water changes as well. By which I mean, it floods. Yeah. It does make me laugh. Oh no, there's silt and algae in my koi pond. Oh, they won't like it. Oh no, I need to get rid of it. Actually, that's what they like. Koi are carp. They're bottom feeders. Their entire body shape is and head shape, mouth is designed, has evolved over however many thousands or millions of years to root through the sludge in the bottom of the pond or lake to find food. Yes, they will feed from the surface because they're lake pigs. But they're designed to feed out of the sludge in the bottom and eat the algae and all that kind of stuff. All you do by removing it is mean you've got to throw more food in there, which means you get more waste, which means you need a filter. So if you've got a natural pond that you don't feed and you don't filter, it all balances itself out lovely. People like to overcomplicate things and spend money. Says the guy with a room full of model kits and paints and tools and special little tools for bending photo etch brass parts into shapes, airbrushes, compressor. I mean, technically I could build a model kit with just a tube of glue and a nail file, paintbrush and a few pots of paint, but I'm on the you do you side of things. If that's buy all the things, that's cool. If it's a millimeter, wing it and get by, that's cool. It's all about enjoying the hobby and taking care of your fish or your tank. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly. I don't have a problem with people spending the money if they want to. I have a problem with people telling people they have to spend all the money or they're doing it wrong. That's where my problem comes in, because that's when I start going, do I smell sponsorships? Not that I'm a cynic or anything, but yeah. It's generally mainly in the salt water. Oh yeah, salt water, you've got to spend every bit of money. Oh yeah. It's probably just hundreds of marine tanks running on sponge filters, exactly. I mean, it's probably just down to sheer dumb luck and lack of being bothered about it that I haven't done a saltwater tank yet. But if I did, it would upset people. and it wouldn't be what most people's first saltwater tank is. It wouldn't be a pair of clownfish. It'd probably be mollies to start out with. Granted, some of his ideas are a bit extreme. I mean, he's just a little bit to the left of Adolf. He got the right ideas for a simple setup once the tank settles in and balances out. Yeah, and I think the ideal is somewhere between the two. And I certainly wouldn't recommend getting pond sludge out of your local river or lake and putting that in a tank. The only problem with the saltwater is my only complaint is if you have a metal rack, it's going to rust like crazy in a year. Oh yeah, that is the problem with saltwater. Yes. Although, if you had some copper, then it would attack the copper before it attacked the iron. That's how warships work, or used to anyway, before decent paints were developed. The parts of the hull that were permanently submerged would be coated with a layer of copper. Because then, through galvanic action, it's the copper that gets, well, corroded rather than the steel. Way more expensive than just cheap metal. Yeah. I don't know. Copper plumbing pipe. I wonder how much weight 28mm copper pipe would take. I mean, you could get really clever and use soldered connections, or you could wing it and use push fit. Okie doke. Well, another fist bump to the X-Man, Priscilla, and another great big smushy hug to you. Have a wonderful hollybobs, and mwah, good to see you, my dearie. Yeah, I think mine's made out of either Chinesium or aluminium. Mine is powder coated, so yeah. And I did make sure I coated all the sides, all 6 sides of the shells with about 3 or 4 layers of exterior gloss paint to make them waterproof. I'll say it's been up a couple, 3, whatever years now, and no issues yet. And considering how much that rack cost, yeah, it doesn't owe me much anymore. So you spexy beast, you. See you later, M&C. Have a good one. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And try not to people too much. It's all right. It's just a smoker's cough because I've been smoking for 30 odd years. Despite someone I work with thinks, because they have the same thing. They have a smoker's cough, but apparently that needed chest X-rays and steroids and antibiotics and inhalers. They cough less than I do. Really? Yeah, that's just me. But then, yeah, I'm the kind of person that breaks their finger away and goes, "Oh, God damn it," and just carries on. Straps and wraps a bit of gaffer tape or masking tape around. Yeah, that'll do. Carry on. Yes, I did that a few weeks ago. Right across the tip of my index finger. Right there. Cough is cough. Don't label it, for heaven's sake. It makes it sound worse. No, mine's definitely a smoker's cough. Yeah. Enough. Yeah, I mean, I've been smoking for 33 years, so I'm put up with a little bit of a cough. It's also probably a bit to do with the weather. Going from warm and let's be honest, warm and slightly humid indoors, to then going to work with it being cold and dry, and then into work where it's warm and dry, and then yeah, just found a piece of phantom quartz. So freaking excited! The quartz got another quartz growing inside of it. Ooh, very smexy. Probably worth a few quid as well, or a few bucks. Started smoking 2 years before you were born. Exactly. Quit smoking in October, cold turkey. Oh, you did the whole Stoptober thing. Well done, you. Congratulations. Um, yeah, I know I'm just fooling myself, but these are, you know, better for you than the ready rolled ones, because they don't have all the extra chemicals in. You notice how you never see a ready-made cigarette go out? They just keep burning all the way down. Yeah, that's because of the certain extra things they put in there. Whereas if I stop puffing on this for about 30 seconds, it will go out. They're also a lot less tobacco. If I smoke 20 of these in a day, that's probably the equivalent of smoking about 5 or 6 straights. Now they have fire safe cigarettes which aren't fire safe, but they had extra chemicals to make them fire safe. Yeah, and it's probably the extra chemicals that'll do the harm. And the reason why cigars and cigarillos are better. My logic. Yeah, my logic too. Because, I mean, ready rolled cigarettes contain formaldehyde and benzene. Don't know if everyone's aware, but formaldehyde is, well, fatal, and benzene is a petrol byproduct. Yeah, it's basically jet fuel. Um, yeah, don't want to be breathing that in if you can help it. Well, I've been on roll ups for about 20 years now, so ooh, Tommy's made a short to show off his rock. Worth around $5 to $10 for the size I found. Not in an aquascaping shop, it's not. Add a zero. Yeah, exactly. Formaldehyde is dead thing pickle juice. That's pretty much the way I would have put it. Yeah, and that's in ready rolled cigarettes. So, how about it? According to Prop 65, everything in California gives you cancer, but only in California. Yes. I mean, some of the funniest ones I've seen as I had electric radio controlled car motors made by a certain American company that is based in California. And there was a warning label on the back of the motor to say that in California, it contains, what is it? This product contains chemicals known to the state of California to cause birth defects and other reproductive harm. I'm like, well, yeah, there's lead in the solder. I'm not going to eat a motor. I ain't that dumb. I mean, I'm pretty dumb, because I'd probably lick it to check whether there was power, but I'm not going to eat it. Yeah, it's the same with Pactra paints as well. They had the same warning labels on. A few days back, meant to tell me don't smoke, it'll give you cancer. They waited for a second and said, oh, you already got it, no worries. Well, you never know. If you get all the cancers, they might cancel each other out. Like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, who had every disease known to man, but they cancelled each other out. It's like Corey's theory on fish, which I kind of get. That they can deal with one or two forms of stress. So whether that be a tank being a bit too small or it being too cold or whatever. But if you give them a third one, that's when you start having problems with disease and death and nasty stuffs. And generally, why? When people buy new Fisheries, what is the general reason? They kick the bucket if you've got them and they go, look, within the first week or two. It's going to be stress from their travel. Who said diseases and viruses can't be symbiotic? Exactly. That's it. What if we could give viruses diseases? A disease that attacks certain RNA or DNA, that'd work. High hemoglobin is good in a way. The reason I don't get tired easily. Never have breathing issues. Yes, lots of oxygen in the blood. And I generally don't have breathing issues when I'm on my bike. Other than, just being unfit and being out of breath. But then it's not as bad as I'd think it would be. It's not like I'm huffing and puffing and struggling. Unless it gets really hot. And then that's just because I don't do heat very well. People with AIDS don't have cancer and vice versa. Exactly. One is sorting the other out. Or is the AIDS medication kills the cancer? There's a thought. You can imagine that headline: we have found the cure for cancer, give everyone AIDS. I laugh, but full well someone would, if there was money to be made from it. Geez, that's dark. I'm happy with the cancer. Yeah, at least it means you haven't stuck anything anywhere you shouldn't have. Yeah. Not every hole's a goal. Sometimes it's an own goal. And whatever you do, never shout, he shoots, he scores. That's never going to go down well. Just saying. Take it from me. Oh dear. We're already going downhill, aren't we? Did we even start up the hill? I think we might have started at the bottom of the hill tonight. Oh yeah, so back to saltwater tanks. Yeah, I'd probably do one in a 15-gallon Fluval Flex, and so it'd have plenty of sand, a few bits of rock, I'll probably use something like Molly's to get it cycled. Just to make sure everything is up and running properly. And the thing is, I'd probably use live rock, and I would probably enjoy the weird little creatures that come on the live rock more than the actual things that are supposed to be in the tank. Is it Aptasia, the little miniature starfish? They're really cool. I like them. My dream would be to have a sea slug, or sorry, a sea cucumber. One of the pink ones that just looks like a manhood. Because they're just awesomely fun. Astorina, that's the one. Yeah, I'd like all the little starfish, snails, bugs, worms, all the weird stuff that lives in the rocks that everyone tries to get rid of. I mean, I'd have snails in there. Yeah, it'd probably be snails and shrimp along with the sea cucumber, as long as they all got on okay. I can't see why they wouldn't. Might not even have fish. That'd be a good money maker. Breeding marine shrimp. Given the prices they go for. Eek. Yeah. Now I get a third and they're going for 20. Yeah, $7.50 a shrimp. I ain't going to complain about that. It'd be like, right, bye-bye Shelleys. Bye-bye cribs. Yeah, we're doing a salty shrimp. That'd be what happened, basically. You're like, right, what can we make the most money out of? Then flood the market and go, oh, balls. Speaking of flooding the market, breeder box full of baby bristlenoses, and I timed it perfectly again, somehow. Not just the 5 days, but they hadn't hatched when I moved them. It was still it's still just a bundle of eggs when I put them in the breeder box. And then I finished my water changes, so about an hour later there was a whole bunch of little wiggly plecklets in there. That was Wednesday, and now they're basically off their yolk, and yeah, time to start putting algae wafers in. Had a reef tank in Cambridge and a fluval flex. I mean, I've seen it done. I mean, I've seen it done several times. They seem to be a good size for a basic marine tank. I wouldn't want corals because nah. And I wouldn't have one of those horrific blue lights on it either, because I don't want a migraine every day. Yeah, I can't deal with those lights. They're just too bright. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, corals are money makers, but kind of boring. Yeah, I just don't enjoy them. Is purely it. Anemones or anemones, I like those. They're cool because they actually do stuffs. And obviously, if you're going to go clownfish, you need the right anemone so they can live in it. But again, as we know, breeding anything marine is an absolute nightmare. Well, snails, turbo snails, that'd be quite good. At least then I wouldn't have an algae issue in that. Yeah, AI Aqua Illuminate, yeah, no. It would just be whatever the standard light is on the Flex. I might turn the blue on as well as the white, but that's it. and it wouldn't have extra filters and skimmers. You don't really need a skimmer in a Flex because the way it goes into the rear compartment, that pulls all the protein film into the back compartment, which then goes into the filter sponge. And then when you do your tank maintenance, you give it a good pull the sponge out, give it a good smush, put it back in, and you got rid of the protein film. What a simple solution. Oh, sorry, that's just no, you need a protein skimmer. Thing is, I think I'd want to grow seaweed as well. I'm just weird like that. Ooh. I'll probably be more likely to go for a native type tank with basically brown and grey fish. We do have some brightly coloured ones. At 700 quid coming from home weekly, the corals were making me over 5k a month. Whoa. Yeah, if I could make 5k a month, yeah, I wouldn't be working, that's for sure. And I spent it all on booze like an idiot. Yeah. Each to their own. If I had £5 a month, I'd probably be living a really extravagant lifestyle for me and putting £3.5 in the bank. Hello, Junebug. How are you, me dearie? Yeah, I don't need a lot of money, let's be honest. I'm not high maintenance. This is why I only work part-time these days. So I get some from the fishies as well and a little bit from YouTube to top things up, and yeah, that's plenty. But I say that only because I did manage to pay off my mortgage very early. Again, because I was earning more than I was spending, but yeah. It'd be very easy to spend more than I earn, but I got so used to not doing that it just doesn't come naturally now. I might see something I want, like let's say for example a new model kit, and I'll be like, ooh, very nice. Ooh, I am high maintenance. 99p for membership. Jeez, I would have put that lower if I could. That's the lowest I'll let you put it. I did think about putting in higher tiers, and I thought, no one's going to pay £5 a month. Studying marine biology, I was doing practicals in my house, so I was always better in class. It's one thing, study something. When you're actually doing it, you're just turning up to class going, can I just do the exam now, please? It's a bargain. Sign up for a steal. Yes. For £1 a month or 99p a month, you get some emojis. That's about it, I'm afraid. Oh, and a little starry badge thing by your name, which basically everyone's got anyway. Thank you very much to everyone who is a member. Thank you very much, Danny boy. The Tommy, Al, E-Rock, Dee and Zenzo. No, not that Zenzo. Because we've got Mandy, the Zen Ginger. I call her Mandy. So I call Aquagarden Zen, which does cause some confusion sometimes. But I literally said to one of my teachers, I was sleeping. He was like, why are you sleeping? So it's 2.0, I already know it. Yeah, that's mostly why I used to get in trouble in school. Not because I was sleeping, but because I was bored because I already knew it. Or I understood it and got it the first time the teacher explained it. So then the second and third time it got explained, I was like, ugh. It was more than once I got kicked out of class for going, seriously, how do you not understand that? Kicked out for that too. And then sent some Dean's office for the second time. Yeah, I basically had my own seat outside of I nearly said principal's office, headmaster's office. We didn't do principals in the UK back then. It was ye old. Well, my school was ye oldie style, so we had like houses and masters and senior masters and headmasters. Yeah, and believe it or not, I was the form prefect. Now that wasn't because I was respected and liked, and it was an honour to have the position. It was generally because either nobody else had volunteered, I got volunteered, or I got stitched up. Usually a combination of all three. And I'm like, yeah, I get to leave 5 minutes early from the lesson to go get the register. Well, I get to be 5 minutes late because I've been taking the register back. Yes, Danny Boy is Tommy's favourite. It's the hair, it must be. Hated my headmaster in school. Already had some problems with me personally. Yeah. I mean, this was the thing, is I had teachers who I had problems with, but then when it went above them, so like the heads of house, or because it went head of the subject, head of house, senior master, headmaster, and as soon as it got above like that individual teacher, like, the next person in the chain knew. And I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just sit here for a bit, and then renewed me. You have been rejuvenated. Teachers were mostly bitches about that. That's because you are gorgeous, June. That's why. That's why the men couldn't keep their eyes off. Weirdly, my favourite teacher from middle school ended up getting done for CP. So then wasn't allowed to live with his wife and his children. Stupid discipline committees. We didn't have those. Weren't quite that posh. Now, I'll never forget, there was one teacher in particular, and I'll never forget him, Mr. Hobday. He must be dead by now. He was a maths teacher, and he wanted everything done in a very specific way. You had to write down the problem, and you had to write down all your working out in a different color pen. Then you had to write down and underline your answer with red pen. If you didn't do all that, he would just mark it as wrong. And me being me, if the question is, let's say, something dumb and simple, 2 plus 2 divided by 2 equals, I'm just going to put 2. Because it doesn't need working out. Sent to a Catholic school, they didn't tame me, but they were forgiving. I think Mr. Hobday was reincarnated, and Mrs. D. No, Mrs. DKF has got better hair than Mr. Hobday had, and I've not seen her. Um, no, Mr. Hobday was an absolute arse. By the end of that year, which was the third year, which is the year where they're sorting out which set you're going into in your GCSEs, which is like your exams for fourth and fifth year, um, he wanted to put me down a set, or the marks he gave me would have put me down a set into the dumbass group. But thankfully, the head of maths was like, no, he's not dumb. He just doesn't do things the way you do them. He does them his way. He gets the right answers, just not the way you want him to. And you can't punish him for getting the right answers. Can't spell my senior year maths teacher. The Scottish guy, QZ and two X's in his name. Oh dear. Yeah. Thankfully, most of ours were fairly simple. Speaking of favourite teachers, Drew handed out the Christmas hams today. Way! Way to go, Drew. I know you're not here, but excited dolphin noises. School is. Yeah, this is it. When you're at school, everyone tells you school's easy and school days are the best days of your life, and you'll regret it when you leave. You go, no, school sucks. I hate it. I hate it. I want to be an adult. And then you realise that, yeah, you can be an adult, but you're going to get way less time off work, like 4, maybe 5 weeks a year, rather than like 13. Your days are going to be much longer. You're going to get less breaks. The learning, the concept of going to school and learning stuff, I really liked that part. It was just the other people I had the problems with. Your brother was popular. See, I was unpopular. My foster sister wasn't particularly popular either, and she was 2 years older than me. And the problem with that was, if she had a problem with her homework and her dad couldn't help, yeah, they asked me. And I was like, oh yeah, it's that. Brother was a jock. I was Hampton's sister. I was just a weird little foster boy, so yeah, I got bullied. Until I threw them down some stairs and broke their bones. Then they stopped. Yeah. It was weird because I was sensibly smart and I was pretty good at some sports as well. So I should have been popular. I was just too weird. Help me, adopted stepbrother. I'm stuck in the dryer. I've seen those videos. Yes, or it's help me, stepson. That's the other version. Brat and a snob in school and college. At uni, I was fine, a little bit snooty. Now a lot. Just because she likes things a certain way and occasionally brings out the red pen. Mrs. DKF is a magnificent, understanding and forgiving human being with gorgeous hair. Yes, she is. She has to be magnificent, understanding and forgiving, putting up with you. Soaking the carpets, burning down the house, all the other things that you... Yeah. And I'm sure she has wondrous, luscious locks. And if she's listening, hi, Mrs. DKF. Blink twice if she's right behind you. So I blinked for you, Dan. Um, although why Mrs. DKF would be watching, I have no idea. There's got to be something more entertaining on. Even the ironing is probably more entertaining than me. Speaking of ironing, yeah, it's been over a year and a half since I last ironed anything. Not daft. I've got the headphones on. Yeah, just relaying the positive things. But don't forget, if she suspects anything, she can watch back the replay and the chat will come up. She's got better things to do. Oh, and while we're here, we've got a few people about. Next Sunday being Christmas Eve, I will do my normal stream. Might go live on Monday if I get bored, but I doubt it. I'll probably be doing water changes all day. Having a Milky Bar, I'm thinking about Milky Bar pudding. I can't get here. Oh, I can't deal with Milky Bar. It's too sickly for me. Although I could deal with an ounce of weed. I'm sure I could put that to good use. Getting the edited highlights in the morning. That's what she says. So it'll be about 30 seconds then. John said hi. 5 seconds. Yes, it's not something that anyone usually complains about unless they're police and they're doing the looking. Then they might have a problem, but again, it all depends on where you live. Given the fact that the government has just basically made smoking illegal in the UK. Right, Milky Bar over dairy milk. That reminds me, I've got a bar of dairy milk salted caramel in the kitchen. Nom nom nom. Nom 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 nom. And when I say a bar, I mean a proper bar, not one of the little tiddly ones. And for me, it's the little tiddly one. It's the medium-sized one. Yes, I'm at that age now where if I eat a large one, then I'm going to feel it. June's hiding out of the weed to herself to surprise herself at a later date. 30 seconds, steady on. He's got to fit some shut eye in too. Yeah, there is that. Yeah, I think everyone that's got to work this week is going to hate me for having the week off, especially retail workers. Because if you've never worked retail, let me just tell you, the week just gone and the week coming up will be absolute hell. And the week after as well will be absolute hell. You'll either have loads of people with gift cards, which is always a nightmare, loads of people bringing stuff back and they've probably not got the receipt, and they want a refund, but it was bought on someone else's card, so you can't refund them because they haven't got the card. Yeah, I'm glad I work in the retail that I do work in, because I would hate to be in food retail again this time of year. It absolutely sucks. Give the same gifts every year. Cash, yes. Very easy. Simple to sort. Yeah, done the shopping, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I generally, it depends who it is. Historically, I'd rather have had cash than a lot of the presents I've had over the years. But since I've been with Mary, I've actually liked and enjoyed and found useful all my Christmas presents. Um, Not really tell you to work in hospitality. It was hell week, but also the best fun times too. We make the best of what you do and have a wonderful holiday season. Yeah, make the best of it. Although, yeah, it's a bit difficult when, especially if you're working in a supermarket and you've got 3 times the amount of stock coming in that you'd normally have. You've got nowhere to actually put it, and no one's actually putting it out because they haven't put extra staff on doing the things that they need extra staff to actually do. It's going to go to the dispensary for my dad, not doing Christmas. Yeah, well, I don't really do it. I do it with Mary, purely because we don't do the traditional type of Christmas. We basically have munchies. We'll have like pigs in blankets, sausage rolls, pork pies, mini quiches, that kind of thing for lunch, which is just far nicer than all the grief and the hassle of doing a roast. Parents got a tiny tree this year, sad little 18-inch one. My place, I have a 12-foot one, probably got a 10-foot one. I think they're getting a good one decorated. Yeah, I mean, this is as much Christmas decorations as I'll have up. Right, depending on whether I see Mary next Sunday or actually on Monday, there might be cards up along the top of the tank, but that'll be about it. I don't care about it, and I basically live on my own, so why would I bother? And heck, I've got 2 ghosts, one of which is a cat and the other one is Jewish, so I kind of want to grab Chinese food with the Jewish name. Exactly. All this, but no, you have to do this and you have to have that and you have to do this and that and well, no, if we don't get the cranberry long claw Stilton, then Christmas will be ruined. No, it won't. Because chances are that cranberry long claw Stilton will still be sitting there come New Year's, and it will have grown a completely different kind of mold. Do what you want to do. If you don't want to do certain things, don't do them, especially when you're an adult. Only celebrate 3 festivals, so I go, I don't really celebrate anything. I'm not even bothered about my own birthday. Put up the first Star Trek tree 2 ago. There we go. I say, everyone do you, but don't expect other people to all have to do the same thing, especially if they're not Christian. I hate to break it to you, I'm not a Christian. I may have been baptized, but I'm no Christian. So yeah, if anything, I'm celebrating Saturnalia. Yes, I'm fully aware. I like the Irish. The Bible says to not be heathens and adorn trees during times of celebration. Yep, it does. Don't know what the 4th tree will get. Oh, make it dark and gothic. With a fallen angel on the top and black tinsel, black lights. Hey, skulls instead of baubles. That would be cool. Happy Festivus. Yes, Festivus or Saturnalia. depending on how paganistic you would like to get. Yes, I know, Tommy, I'm using pagan in the wrong sense. I'm using it in the generally accepted sense. Because that's something that Tommy always pulls me up on. The difference between paganism, druidism, and all the others. Yes, I know, but they do tend to get lumped in the same category, along with Christianity. You know, so I mean, how many different versions of that are there when they're all using the same book? Which kind of doesn't make sense to me, because if you're all trying to go by the teachings of one book, then surely they should all be the same. Do druids still exist? There are people that call themselves druids, and they do follow that kind of belief system. Druidism did die out a couple of 1,000 years ago, really. But it is still kind of thing. They're actually coming back more and more. Same book, and they hate each other. Yes, exactly. All a bunch of fundamentalists, really, want to meet a real druid. That's general. I think it's mostly a sort of West Country, so Cornwall-y kind of way. You didn't see the druid to go to the White House. That wasn't a druid. That was a stoner. Actually, no, that gives stoners a bad name. That was an idiot. The magical ones. Yes, the proper ones. Never mind. With any luck, we might get a Christmas present of El Trump and Fuhrer getting sent down for something. Or being made bankrupt again. Too many shrooms. Just a few too many. Just one look at him could have told he's not right in the head. When he, you know, it's like one of those. You go storming the Capitol building, which what would the equivalent be in the UK? Houses of Parliament, Buckingham Palace, probably a combination. Yeah, I think they were all lucky they just didn't get shot. To be perfectly honest, I'm pretty sure that the police or whomsoever it was guarding that place would have been perfectly within their rights to shoot them under national security. The place that made them seem odd. No, they were just odd. I don't think it would be a crime, because technically we can storm the White House. It's the people's house. Yeah. They technically can. They did it in a very strange, unorthodox way. Yeah, they did. Mind you, you know, they were following a very strange and unorthodox person. So, ooh, Laura Oaken's got a premiere in 30 minutes. So if you're interested in testing popular ghost hunting equipment in a haunted forest, Laura Roughton has a video premiering in 30 minutes at 8 o'clock. I will type that into the chat because someone might want to watch it. That's the channel name. It used to be the Paranormal Scholar, but been bankrupt my entire adult life. Might as well add it. As it putting a smile on the face of someone. Yeah, true. We were given the right to do so as Americans in case of a tyrannical government, giving the people the power to overthrow that government. I technically we kind of have the same thing because the reigning, while the reigning monarch doesn't really have much power, they can dissolve parliament and go, no, you guys are a bunch of psychopaths. Out. And the army isn't technically under the control of the government. It's under control of the monarch. Unless the monarch is being an absolute, then the army will follow the government. With laws are falling into place, it deems that terrorism now, like changing the definition of a terrorist back during the Obama admin. You wrote some indefinite detention for said terrorists. Yes. Yes, filing for bankruptcy does affect your credit score. Which is why, if Trumpy gets done and gets being made bankrupt, being declared bankrupt, both fiscally and morally, yeah, that hitting him in the wallet is where it's going to hurt him most. Yeah. Destroy his credit score so no one will lend him money anymore. Oh, government is, yeah, it is. Yeah, the monarchs would never out the government. Just like wrestling, it's all fake. Yeah. Yeah, but at least wrestling's actually kind of entertaining. It took me so long to yeah. It is, it's certainly a different spelling of a surname. But thank you very much. Not that Laura has a clue A about who I am, but there we go. Most of the rich have got horrible credit scores, yes, because they've all taken out huge amounts of loans and not paid them back. That's why they've got lots of money. It's because they never spend it, they just keep borrowing it. And then when something goes pear-shaped and they get made bankrupt and they can't pay back the money they owe, they bring the banks down with them. No, it's all right, Dan. Proper wrestling isn't fake. No, like Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks and Kendo Nagasaki, that was all real. It's just the American version that's fake. Max gets certain discounts and paybacks, so it equals that. Yeah. Yes. The more you owe, the better credit you have. Yeah. Exactly. My credit score is going to be absolute garbage because I took out one loan in my life, and that was a mortgage, and I paid it off 8 years early. So I didn't make them very much money, so they don't like me. Now, personally, I'd think if you borrowed money and paid it back early and not caused any trouble or any problems or blah, 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 and they should be more likely to lend you money because you've proven that you're fiscally sensible. But no, apparently it works the other way around because they like to get their money out of you. They like you to borrow £1,000 and pay them back £2,000. Admittedly, all the time I had my mortgage, the interest rates just kept going down and down and down and down and down. I think by the time I paid it off, the interest rate was like 0.5% or something. Yeah, if the bank doesn't go down, only the person owning the bank, then they live under a bridge for the rest of their life. Yeah. Although one of the best headlines ever that I ever saw, and this isn't Corkman drowns, was Fannie Mae collapse. Oh, that was so funny. Yeah, he's proof of the sunk cost fallacy. He owes so much to so many that having him fail would only hurt them. Yeah. But let's be honest, we all want to see him get some just desserts. I paid everything off, lived on cash, my credit was worse than if I didn't pay anything off. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Don't borrow money if you can. Specifically, don't borrow it if you can't afford to pay it back. But yeah. So if I had loans to pay off and stuff like that, yeah, I'd be broke. I'm not well off, but I can afford to live comfortably on what I earn, which isn't that much. Phew, thought you were suggesting the Miz wasn't putting his body on the line 3 times a week just for international fame or financial security. International fame, yes. Financial security, no. A lot of those wrestlers make very little money. Dad never takes loans. He hates that I use the credit card. Tell that to my teenagers. Yeah, it's yeah, I think it's also it's kind of a generational thing for the masses. In that, so it's like my grandparents and my parents and whatever didn't have loans, so I didn't. It was just not something I thought of. It was like, if I can't afford it, I don't buy it. If there's something I want, I save up for it and go without. Like Dad, hate debt. If you don't have the cash to pay for what you want, then it's a want, not a need. Otherwise, you do what it takes to raise that money. Exactly. And there's also that what I would consider a luxury versus what, say, someone half my age would consider a luxury. To me, this is a luxury. Smoking is a luxury. Eating Stilton every so often is a luxury. Buying a coffee is a luxury. Having a Netflix subscription would be a luxury. All these things that I would consider luxuries that most people half my age would consider a necessity. A mobile phone is kind of a necessity these days, but up until 5 years ago, it was a luxury to me. Dave Ramsey has a great book on learning to deal with debt and crawling out of it. You appreciate more when, yeah, exactly. You put a bunch of effort into it, you saved up for it, done all the research on it, you go out and get it, and you appreciate it. You take care of it. Whereas if you just go, oh, I want one then, here's a credit card, I'll buy it. Just payments just come automatically out your bank account. Yeah, you don't notice. You don't pay in it. Buying coffee is daylight robbery. Yeah. I don't understand why people don't buy nice coffee, a sturdy cup, and take it with them. Yeah, but you got to have the right one, you know? You got to be able to walk around holding your weird cup that every time you try and drink out of it dribbles coffee down your front. Yeah, I can't drink from those cups. Not with the lid on, anyway. It's not food, water, survival is a luxury. Exactly. Cigarettes are mandatory. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wouldn't die if I didn't smoke. Other people might. This is another thing. Dealing with the public, I'm not going to be quitting smoking anytime soon. I had a cold brew from, I do some weird stuff for a cold brew from Starbucks. Yeah, but cold coffee, you just make yourself a coffee and leave it for a bit and it goes cold. Or you stick it in the fridge. It's quite simple. What you do is you boil your kettle, you get your cup, you put your spoonful of coffee powder in there, a couple of spoonfuls of sugar, top it up 3/4 of the way with hot boiling water, full fat milk, give it a stir. That's coffee. Anything more than that is posh coffee. That we're spending on coffee what I can buy a lunch for, a whole meal. W's. Yeah, exactly. Well, the cost of one coffee at a Starbucks or a Cafe Nero or whatever other ones there are, I'm assuming there are several more brands available. You could buy a jar of Nescafe Gold Blend and make about 100 cups of coffee out of it. What? I get, yes, that people with a sense of smell and more sensitive senses of taste, blah, blah, might notice a difference and go, oh, yeah, this one is nicer. But is it really that much nicer? It's just a drink at the end of the day. Allergic to coffee, last I was in 2010, started non-stop puking, ended up in hospital. Oh dear. Thankfully, I'm not allergic to caffeine. That would be a problem. Depending on where I can go, I can buy a gallon of gas for the same price as a cold brew from Starbucks. Ooh, hang on, what would it be here? I mean, let's say a coffee is a £5. Yeah, it's probably not too dissimilar. If you see me in Starbucks, this is giving away 20-gallon longs with every mocha. Exactly. And yeah, it's the same with eating. No, I'm not going to put it that way. Going out to eat. Right. Some people will get fast food like McDonald's, KFC, pizza, whatever, Uber Eats and delivered, and they'll do that 3, 4, sometimes every day of the week. Some people. I'm like, seriously, you're spending that much on food a day? Oh no. I learned from my grandparents, being rich isn't showing the world how much money you have, rather than saving all of it and sitting on it your whole life. Yeah, that's how the rich stay rich. They don't spend their money. Don't mean to sound mean. People can spend whatever they want, whatever they consider a treat. Just think takeaway coffee companies are the caffeine vampires of the retail world. They are. Now that's just truth. And when you can, so I mean, on the rare occasions I venture up to Norwich, which is even rarer these days, but I would go wandering straight past the Starbucks and the Cafe Nero and whatever to Norwich Market, hang a left, go get a coffee from Dave's coffee stall. I think it's actually what it's called. And it would be like 60p for a cup of coffee. And you can go, yeah, can I have a couple of spoonfuls of coffee in that, please? I need it need a good kick. Righto. It's that simple. The difference between rich and wealthy, keep generations of money. Wealthy, you spend up all of it. Rich, yes, exactly. It's the as they used to, or probably still do, the nouveau riche, the new rich. They're the people that get all the money and spend it all on big houses and yachts and fast cars. Whereas wealthy people, like the aristocracy, well, yes, they might live in a really big house and drive a Land Rover or Range Rover, but that house has been in their family for hundreds of years. That Land Rover or Range Rover, that's on private plates. Yeah, because it's probably about 15, 20 years old at this point, and they're not going to replace it until they absolutely have to. They buy expensive countryside clothing because it lasts for bloody years. Right? You know, their furniture is probably 600-700 years old, most of it. My grandfather was worth hundreds of millions, but nobody would ever have guessed it. They lived in the same house and drove the same car for 40 years. He was a captain of American Airlines and stocks. It's all manipulation. I'll be wasting money on filters I don't need, gaming microtransactions, and YouTube membership. Oh. Yeah. That's the one that I don't, well, I mean, I don't do gaming really anymore, so yeah, I kind of gave up on like buying stuff in game with actual money because I'm like, hang on, I've paid for this already, and now you want me to pay more to unlock something that's actually on the disc? What? Guess what I got when I passed? Nothing. 0. Yeah. Yeah. I'll say my granddad died a few weeks ago. I doubt I'll get a penny. Ain't neither rich, not what they're proud of. But dad is a fishmonger and he believes, yeah. No, I do too. You know, it's basically the money equivalent of the person who stands at the corner of the bar holding their pint like that, waiting for someone to knock it out of their hand. You can tell because they're the kind of people who will tell you instantly how much they paid for something. It's like, oh yeah, we went on holiday to the Maldives. It cost us £15,000. Yeah, I didn't need to know that it cost you that much money. You do realise you could have done it a lot cheaper. It's like the amount of money is like the brag to that. It's the badge. Yeah, nouveau riche. No. I'll stick with being poor and slumming it. At least when I kick the bucket, Mary will get a house. So there is that. But yeah, then she'll have everything else to look after. I'm sure if I kick the bucket anytime soon, there will be a lot of bristlenose plecos and fish tanks going up for sale. Let's just put it that way. And old radio controlled cars and Magic the Gathering cards. And I'm going to need someone to come and clear out certain things. I'll be dead 1 hour. I just need to remember to delete my search history. So I mean, yeah, that's a divorce if you spent money on a video game. Poor and happy, the way it ought to be. If you had a full belly and a smile on your face, so that life is good. Exactly. You can have fun for very little money. I mean, maybe my bike rides. Yes, I know bikes aren't cheap these days, but I got it through the cycle to work scheme. It is my source of transport to go to and from work. But I really enjoyed, other than the heat exhaustion and things like that have happened. But other than that, I really enjoyed my bike rides this year, the longer ones, and I'm looking forward to doing more. And yeah, okay, so getting some of the gear wasn't cheap, but I didn't get the expensive, super light, super awesome gear. I bought not the cheap, nasty stuff that's going to fall apart in 5 minutes and weigh an absolute ton. A little bit up from that. That budget, decent stuff. And I'm going to, have what I need for what I'm going to do. And now I've got all this stuff. The most expensive bit is either train fares or food. And I think the last one, the Marriott's Way I did, the train fare was like £8 to get to North Walsham, which is a fair old schlep, and there's a change of trains in the middle. And yeah, I spent a fair bit of money on the food, but that's because I took like 3 meal deals with me. Last thing you want to do is when you're on a long bike ride is hit the wall, or as I call it, bonk, which is where your body goes, yeah, I'm completely out of energy to give you now. Now you're going to get really faint and wobbly, and it's going to take you a long while to get things going again. Yeah, worried about that. Built my house, so I have to look at the legalities of protecting it when I'm gone. I think, so generally in the UK, if it's your house and you own it, you just put in your will, I leave my house and land and property or whatever to whoever, and they get it. Might be a bit of a tax on it, but government's got to make some money out of you somewhere when you're dead. Better put it in a trust to save tax. Yeah, I mean, there won't exactly be a lot of money for me to put in a trust, let's be honest. My will is basically just I leave everything to Mary. I've not got any debt, so she's not got to worry about. 3 meal deals equals spam sandwich, can of energy drink, and half smoked dog end. You know that's not true, Dan. You know the half smoked dog end isn't true. Because what was it you noticed about the last bike ride? I'm the only person you've ever seen with an ashtray on a bicycle. I can tell you there was more than one half smoked dog end that went around that bike ride. Not as many as you might think, but yeah. I think it was by the time I got home, and I had one on the way to the train station, one when I left North Walsham train station because stress. Because I don't like crowds and I wasn't entirely sure where I was going and things like that. It takes more than the will. Will can be overturned by the court. They can. But unless it's something real big and real worth money, then they're probably not going to. Hubby would love that meal. Yeah, it's a good meal. No, it was what was it? It was sausage, bacon, and egg sandwiches with sausage roll, 2 king size or 2 double-decker duos. Yeah, there was a can of energy drink, 2 bottles of Coke. So that's the 3 meal deals. And yeah, ashtray. Yes, ashtray on a bike. Isn't the rest of the world the ashtray when you're on a bike? It can be, but I don't like leaving cigarette butts lying around the place, especially if I'm out in the beautiful countryside of Norfolk. I don't want to be littering. And I know a little ciggy butt isn't much and it's going to biodegrade very rapidly, but I'd rather not leave the mess. Love you too, Tommy. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday too. Have a big hug. I say ashtray. That was Dan taking a mickey. It's an old mint tin that I jam in the elastic bit on the side of the top tube bag on the bike. Didn't you think he died and got there? Yes. It can't be a spam sandwich. Oh. Well, spam and fried egg. Oh yeah. cold spam and hot fried egg in a sandwich. Oh, nom, 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 nom. Lovely runny yolk. I've got bread. I haven't got any spam or eggs at the moment, so yes, spam and rice, that works well. Spam and tuna and rice works well. That's one of my go-tos. Things you have on the shelf or in the cupboard. A couple of tins of tuna and some pouches of microwave rice. Yeah, that's a good late evening snacko. If you get back from work and you're like, yeah, I'm hungry, I need something to eat. I don't really fancy just either cooking or pigging out on stuff. Yeah, some tuna and rice, that'll fill me up. Eggs were on sale, going to be spam and eggs for a while. I'm waiting for the cost of spam to come down because spam costs a fortune over here at the moment. I really like spam and I really like corned beef, but I ain't going to buy it, not at that price. There's like £3 for a tin. I'm like, what? There's enough there for like 4 sandwiches. Cheaper to buy the sandwiches ready made. And that's not like the big brand. That's not spam brand. That's off-brand stuff. Yeah, it's weird. Even corned beef's expensive now. And these were the meats that you know. Corned beef and spam were the cheap meat that you kind of had for a sandwich because you couldn't afford proper ham or proper beef slices and things like that, you know. So you had spam or corned beef. Get those Tesco sandwiches. Exactly. It's cheaper to buy the ready-made sandwiches than it's to buy the stuff that goes in the sandwiches. Hang on, there's something going wrong here. So eggs don't actually go on sale. They kind of eggs classed as a necessity rather, or a basic foodstuff. So I think they're kind of price protected. If I'm going to eat spam, better be real spam. Yes, I can't really taste the difference between spam and peck and all the other various own brand names, and it probably all comes out of the same factory anyway. Or you can get Lidl sandwiches that are even cheaper than Tesco sandwiches, and they're the same ones. I can't smell it, I can just taste it. And with spam, I normally have brown sauce, and with corned beef, it's ketchup, red sauce. Oh, is it that time? Thank you very much, Sam. There we go. Laura's testing popular goose hunting equipment in a Horton Forest premiere is up. Could be quite amusing if someone did go in there and go, Sharpe's Fish and Phantoms sent me. But anyway, yes. We accept all people here and our sensitive to all opinions, realizing we're all a product of our experiences, we're all worthwhile and important. It's just the line don't cross, which you just crossed, and I can't accept it. Runny eggs. Oh, yeah. Nom, 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 nom. Soft boiled. They're the best. Right, so thank you to everyone for showing up. Thank you, Dan, for the wonderful gift of the 5 memberships. Have a great week, everyone. Don't stress out too much about next weekend coming up stuffs. Peace out. Rock on with the short pinky nail. Bye-bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Arr. Boo.